Welcome back, everyone, to the Deep Dive. You know, we're always trying to bring you the latest and greatest, and today we're going deep on ultra-processed foods.
Oh, yeah.
You know, they're like
Yeah.
everywhere, right? We've got a fascinating new study here from Mass General Brigham that really kind of digs into how prevalent they are in our grocery stores. Like we're talking Walmart, Target, even Whole Foods.
Yeah.
And we've got
Okay.
some pretty strong opinions from the public about this whole thing.
I bet.
Yeah, so.
Well, the thing is,
Yeah.
when we say ultra-processed foods, we're going beyond
Right.
just junk food, you know?
Yeah.
We're really talking about
Yeah.
how additives and preservatives and the processing itself can strip away nutrients
Right.
and, you know, replace them with things that can be harmful to our health.
Okay, so this is not just about eating your veggies.
Right.
I know
Exactly.
this is about something way bigger.
Yeah.
So these researchers, they created an algorithm to analyze
Okay.
over 50,000 items from Walmart, Target, and even Whole Foods.
Wow.
That's huge. And they've got this database. They're calling it Grocery DB.
Okay.
And they made a website called True Food.
Oh, cool.
So you can actually see the scores for all these different foods.
That's
It's
awesome.
like, imagine you're
Yeah.
standing there in the aisle
Yeah.
comparing products right there on your phone.
That's amazing. I love that.
How cool is that?
So cool.
If
And so what did they find? Like,
Yeah.
what were the results?
Yeah, the results are pretty eye-opening.
Yeah.
I mean,
Uh-huh.
you might expect Walmart and Target to have a lot of ultra-processed foods.
Right. Sure.
But even Whole Foods, which has that reputation for healthy options,
Yeah.
you know, organic and all that,
Yeah.
they had a surprisingly high amount too.
Really? Even Whole Foods?
Yeah, it was kind of shocking.
Wow.
Let's review the study. And I saw that in some categories,
Okay.
like cereals, soups, yogurt,
Right.
even milk and cookies.
Wow.
Highly processed foods were the only option available at some stores. I mean, that doesn't leave a lot of room for making healthier choices, does it?
No, not really.
Sure.
It really limits what you can buy.
Yeah, and it gets to the heart of the issue, right?
Mm-hmm.
These foods often lack nutrients.
Right.
They're linked to problems like obesity,
Mm-hmm.
diabetes, heart disease.
Yeah. It's not just about some abstract idea of health risks.
Right.
It's about how the food we eat actually affects our bodies.
So it's a wake-up call for sure.
Definitely.
But that's where the True Food website comes in, right?
Yeah. Tell me about that.
You can actually see the scores and make better decisions when you're at the store.
Okay.
I actually tried it myself.
Yeah.
And I was shocked by the score for this granola bar
Oh, no.
that I always thought was healthy.
Really?
It was way more processed than I realized.
Wow. So you can really use that to compare?
Yeah, it's a great tool.
That's amazing.
And you know what's really cool?
What?
The researchers behind this study, they want to go even further. They want to use this data to drive large-scale public health improvements.
Wow. Now that's what I'm talking about.
Oh, right.
So what do they have in mind? Like, what could they do with all this information? I mean, there's so much we could do.
Yeah.
Think about food labeling for a second.
Okay.
Right now, you see calories and fat and sugar,
Mm-hmm.
but there's nothing about how processed a food is.
Yeah, that's true.
What if that score,
Uh-huh.
that processing score, was right there on the label?
Oh, that would be amazing.
Right. It would make it so much easier to compare products
Yeah.
and make informed choices.
I mean, if enough people start looking for that score,
Right.
wouldn't food companies have to start paying attention?
Exactly. They'd be incentivized to change their recipes
Yeah.
to offer healthier options,
Right.
less processed options.
And it goes beyond just labeling.
It does.
Yeah. This data could be incredibly valuable
Okay.
for addressing food insecurity,
Oh, that's interesting.
especially in those food deserts we were talking about.
Right, where people don't have easy access
Exactly.
to fresh food.
Yeah, we could use this data to identify those areas.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, think about it.
Yeah.
Maybe we could incentivize grocery stores in those areas
Uh-huh.
to stock more unprocessed or minimally processed foods.
Right. Make healthier choices more accessible for everyone.
So this isn't just about individuals.
No.
This research could actually help shape policies
Absolutely.
and programs that benefit entire communities.
Yeah, it really highlights how connected individual health and public health are.
Right.
And our entire food system.
Wow.
And, you know, it raises a really important question.
Okay.
What's the role of individual responsibility
Yeah.
versus like systemic change
Right.
when it comes to improving our diets?
That's a tough one.
Yeah, because it's easy to feel like
No.
your individual choices don't really matter
Right.
when you consider the power of the food industry.
They're huge.
Right. But individual actions still matter. Every time you choose a less processed option, You're sending a message to the market.
That's a good point.
And collectively, those messages, they can drive change.
So it's about finding that balance between advocating for systemic change, but also making conscious choices within the system we have right now.
Exactly. It's about using the tools and the information that we have to make decisions that align with our values.
And speaking of values, it's important to remember that not everyone has equal access.
Oh, absolutely.
To healthy, unprocessed food.
Right.
Things like, where you live, your income, even cultural norms. All those things play a role.
Yeah, and so we have to be sensitive to that and not judge people for their food choices.
We need to create a system that gives everyone access to healthy, affordable food.
Regardless of their circumstances.
This isn't about placing blame. It's about advocating for policies that support access to nutritious food.
Absolutely.
For everyone.
For everyone.
Not just those who can afford it.
Exactly.
By raising awareness about the prevalence of ultra-processed foods and their potential health risks. We can push for meaningful change, both individually and as a society.
That's where the real power of this research lies.
So what does this all mean for our listeners? What's the takeaway message?
The takeaway message is knowledge is power.
Ooh, I like that.
By understanding the impact of food processing and using tools like True Food. We can make more informed choices. Take control of our diets.
And advocate for a healthier food system.
For everyone.
I love that. It's about recognizing that we have agency. Even within a complex system. We can make a difference.
Absolutely.
Through our choices and by supporting initiatives that promote access to nutritious food.
For everyone.
For everyone.
Well said.
Now, before we wrap up, I want to circle back to something the researchers mentioned that I found really interesting.
What's that?
They talked about adding geolocation data.
Oh, wow.
And temporal monitoring to their research.
That's fascinating.
Like we could actually see how the availability of these foods varies across different regions and communities.
Yeah, like which areas have better access to healthier options.
Exactly. And which areas are, essentially food deserts where they're just surrounded by processed foods.
It would be incredible.
I know, right?
To have that kind of data.
Yeah.
Because then you can actually see the problem and start to address it.
So we could use that data to drive targeted interventions.
Right. Like, let's say we implement a new policy or launch a public awareness campaign. We could actually see if it's making a difference.
Like if it's actually reducing the amount of ultra-processed foods in those areas.
It's about taking all this data and actually turning it into something useful.
Right, making it actionable.
Exactly. So we can improve people's lives.
It's not just about identifying the problem. It's about finding solutions.
Absolutely. And I think this research has the potential to really change things.
Yeah, it gives us a whole new way to look at our food system. So as we wrap up our deep dive today, I want to leave you with a final thought. Given everything we've talked about, how can we reimagine our food systems to prioritize both health and accessibility for everyone?
That's the big question, isn't it?
It is.
It's going to take a lot of work. We need researchers, policymakers, the food industry, everyone working together.
We need to make healthier food
more
affordable.
And more accessible.
Yeah. It's a huge challenge.
It is.
But I think we can do it.
I agree. I think we can overcome this if we all work together.
It's about creating a food system that supports everyone's well-being.
Yes.
And empowers everyone to make healthy choices.
Exactly.
And this is just the start of the conversation.
Right.
We want you to keep exploring this. Check out the True Food website.
Oh, yeah. It's a great resource.
See how your favorite foods score and share your thoughts with us.
Yeah, let's keep talking about this.
How can we create a healthier and more equitable food system for all?
It's an important conversation.
It is. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.